on what you think about that story at the agenda_SABC. While the Department of Government Communications and Information Systems says it is forging ahead in mobilizing society to assist victims of gender-based violence. GCIS recently conducted an inspection of 57 Thuthuzela Care Centres across the 9 provinces to conduct a needs analysis per centre. GCIS says it is also hosting a panel discussion on the way the media reports on gender-based violence. Now, for more on this, we're joined by Phumla Williams, the GCIS Acting Director General via Skype. Ms. Williams, thank you very much indeed for your time. Let's start off by finding out more about the Thuthuzela Care Centres. 57 of them, what are they all about?
Good morning, Eben, and good morning to the viewers. Yes, it's true. I think if I can just take one step back to say government communication has over a long time been involved in the advocacy of educating society on the gender-based violence. You will remember one of the campaigns was Don't Look Away, because I think it was our view that if we can mobilize society, that they should raise their alarm when they suspect any form of violence against a woman or against the child. That campaign has moved to a point where this year, if you will recall our 100-men march, it was a campaign of trying to say all of us have a responsibility to engage and to work with the law enforcement agencies in dealing with the issues of gender-based violence. And one of the issues we were saying is that you can make a difference even in your small way. And one of the things then we have done is to go through all the Thuthuzela centers. If I can just share with your viewers that the Thuthuzela centers are an intervention by government of creating some kind of a one-stop shop for the victims that should they need some kind of a shelter, it provides them counseling, it provides them a shelter where they can run to if ever a woman is being bashed, is being abused. It also affords them some legal support if the matter has to be taken to the justice process. So what these centers are doing, what we did, we went across the country to look at what are their needs. We have collated all that information and we've put it on our website, the contact details and where it is. And that in a way is to say, even if you are a specialist, you think that you want to offer counseling services for free on your weekends, you can get to our website and get a center. If you have a budget of social responsibility, you want to know how to assist, we are saying these Thuthuzela centers would do with that kind of a support. If you are a lawyer or whatever, you want to offer some services. Yeah. But basically what we are saying here is structures that are making a difference in dealing with gender-based violence, and we are appealing to society in their expertise that they can go to these centers. If they want to make a contribution with some of their clothes or whatever thing or groceries, they can go to any of the 57 Thuthuzela centers across the country and make that contribution and make a difference as the members of society.
So, Phumla Williams, I mean, it's a bit of a holistic approach, isn't it? You touched on people reporting sexual assaults. You're saying society must stand up and speak about this. Why aren't people speaking about this? What are some of the barriers that are preventing society in general from calling out abuse?
You know, I will not even purport to be an expert. There are a number of reasons why some women are scared of coming out. Others, it may be just financial support that she's being offered by the partner, and it may also be some cultural stereotypes that you cannot go and report that your husband is beating you or your husband is abusing. But what is important for us is to say, let's create an environment where these women can be assisted in coming out. And all we are saying is that you may even be just a neighbor. You are aware that there is a lot of unhealthy noises in your neighborhood, and you can be able to offer that assistance to that woman to make it comfortable for that woman to realize that it is okay to seek help. It is also an intervention that is also assisting me, who is not being abused, to say, if I know of a neighbor or a friend or an aunt who says, I want to know where can I run to, we are saying this service that we are offering is that if you go to our website, you are seeing here is a Thuthuzela Center next to this area. You can be able to say, you know what, I know of a center, I can assist you to go there, but without really getting into why they don't want to come out, because we are not the judge, but we want to say, how do we assist women who are in distress, who feel helpless, who don't think there's a way out, and we want us to say there is a way out. And if me and you are not involved in this kind of a changing of our society for the better, what more assistance can you give? So all we are saying is that let us lend a hand to those that are in distress, whatever the reasons may be that they are sitting and staying in an abusive relationship. Yeah. But let us be there to lend that hand.
Yeah, I hear you, because this is we also need to eradicate the myth that this is an individual problem, isn't it? It's far from an individual problem, and it's far from a problem that only exists with the victim and the immediate family. It's a societal issue, isn't it? One of the other issues is the way media, I guess, reports on gender-based violence. There's going to be a panel discussion. What's some of your concerns with how media reports these cases?
You know, it's also one of our interventions on trying to deal with this case. We want you to approach it holistically. And one of the dialogues that we are having tomorrow, I think if anyone who is around Pretoria, they can come and join. We're trying to have a panel discussion of how can we get the media to assist. I think recently we have had all sorts of issues around showing the picture of the perpetrator before he appears in court. Is it assisting in making sure that justice is served for that victim? So tomorrow we will be having a Deputy Minister of Justice who will be deliberating on these issues. We're having a Deputy Minister, but we've also invited the members of the media so that they can also engage with us. And we're hoping it will come out with a very useful output, because at the end of the day, yes, we do want the media to participate in fighting the scourge of gender-based violence, but I don't think it will serve anybody if in the process of doing that, we end up getting the perpetrator scot-free because of the mistakes that the members of the media do. So we are hoping that that kind of a discussion tomorrow, it is going to engage on these issues with experts, and they will be shown. We've also invited gender activists who are who have researched quite extensively. We're hoping that they will also come and input some of the information that sometimes the media may not even be aware of, but it will be an educational session with a view of taking the process forward of how do we assist in fighting the scourge of gender-based violence.
So what's your thoughts with regards to, look, we've been reporting on the recent incident in a restaurant in Pretoria involving a young girl and a young man, in fact. And look, his name is out there now. Those videos were floating around in social media. What's your thoughts on the face of it before we have this panel discussion? On the face of it, what's your opinion on it?
You know, Eben, I think my little knowledge of the law is that when a person has been arrested and he has not appeared before the courts, he cannot be named. And we had seen snippets, not all members of the media, but we have seen, and I think it was a very emotional incident that happened. I think all of us were outraged and we were almost horrified with what has happened. But what I think we need to be careful of, in the process of raising our anger, we should not end up violating the rights of the child, because at the end of the day, we want justice to be served. We don't want a situation 3 months down the line because of some technical mistakes that we committed in the process. the perpetrator gets out scot-free. What we are saying, yes, let's do what we are expected to do, but let's do it within the law. The person has to appear before court before we actually even engage in showing the picture, in naming it, and all sorts of things, because these things have got a way of catching up with you, because we are governed by a rule of law in this country. And at the end of the day, we do want to find a very tight case which will be presented by the police and the NPA without us having to be found to have violated bare basics of saying before the person appears, you cannot name or show that person.
Look, the media plays a huge role in shaping social norms, isn't it? So instead of just reporting on the actual incident, it's important to give it context, isn't it, of a sexual assault. It's important to give the consequences with regards to society and how it affects society, to put greater context and why this act is so unacceptable.
I think I missed that bit. I missed that question.
I was just saying, Phumla Williams, with regards to giving social consequence of sexual assault, is very important for the media to give instead of just, reporting on the actual incident.
Absolutely, because I think at the end of the day, we want the media to also reflect what these acts do to the future of that particular victim, the future of that child. But also we want the media to educate those that are still sitting in an environment that is abusive. And we are saying that it would be great if the media can do that kind of information sharing with others, because at the end of the day, the media becomes the source of information, becomes an educational platform. So at the end, we expect the members of the media to contribute towards information sharing. We want the media to contribute towards educating. I think we do expect that we do appreciate that the members of the media tend to now and then want to be sensational. Yeah. But we don't expect them to be sensational at the expense of saving those victims that are trapped in an abusive relationship. We want them to assist us. It cannot be correct that we would want to be sensational on such a serious matter as a child being raped. You have to be sensitive to the fact that this child has been violated, and as a society, we have failed that child, and we cannot then be found as a media still wanting to entertain being sensational because of the nature of our platforms being media. We want them to be circumspect in what they take in terms of wanting to be sensational. They need to make sure that in whose interest will we be serving by being a sensational, whether we want to buy a newspaper, whether we want to get more hits of followers. We need to understand at whose cost are we doing that.
The importance of publishing and broadcasting accurate information is paramount. Phumla Williams, thank you very much indeed for your time. Phumla Williams is the GCIS Acting Director General. We thank you very much indeed for your time as well as your insight. Now, the news, the EFF says it's shocked by the dishonest testimony by Finance Minister Nhlanhla Nene and the oath at the State Capture of Inquiry yesterday. In a press release, the EFF says the